Hey guys, it's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about why Riot Blockchain is my favorite stock in the market right now. If you guys have been tuned into the channel, then you know that Riot is by no means a new face around here. We've covered it many times in the past. We've been on an absolute roller coaster with it over the past couple months. And although Riot is still up significantly year to date, I do still think this is just the beginning for Riot. I think it has so much growth potential ahead of it, and I'm excited to share with you guys why that is. So, as always, we'll go over each topic that we're going to be discussing, and then we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, of course, TradingView. I'm excited to dive into some technicals and price predictions with you guys in terms of Riot short-term, medium-term, and long-term. You guys know I always base my bullish arguments in fundamentals, and I'm not only fundamentally bullish on Riot, I'm very technically bullish on it as well. So we got the double whammy. I'm excited to talk some technicals with you guys. We will also, of course, jump into some news. So this is Riot's most recent piece of news. This just came out October 18th. I believe I'm recording this on the 20th. So very new news article. You guys know I've been saying over the past couple months the impressive thing about Riot, and trust me, you guys, I've been following Riot for years now. Just in the past 6 months alone, they've been releasing a good piece of news every couple weeks, at least every month. So this is very good. They're expanding their operations. They're buying Bitcoin miners. For those of you who don't know, Riot Blockchain is a Bitcoin mining company. The more mining machines you have, the more Bitcoin you can mine, the more money you make, okay? So the more miners, the better. That's what a lot of this news is focused around, and that's what we'll cover here. Moving on, we will, again, just to kind of back up what I just said, take a look at Riot Blockchain. This is their website, riotblockchain.com. Take a look at their press releases. I do advise you guys, anytime you're looking into a stock, more specifically a company, always go to their website and look at their press releases, see how consistent they are with their news. And again, we're just going to read some headlines here, not dive into anything specifically, but again, just to reinforce that argument that I'm making, that they've been so consistently putting out good news and very fundamental, very tangible good news. Again, they're expanding their operations, they're getting more Bitcoin miners. And again, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. If you guys didn't watch the video I just posted, it's going to be right before this yesterday at the time of recording this, obviously. But talking about how Bitcoin could potentially reach $1 million in 5 years, my estimate was, spoiler alert, or it was $500,000. I think a $500,000 Bitcoin in the next 5 years is very possible. And again, go check out that video if you want to hear why. But just know, obviously, you guys, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. Therefore, I'm very bullish on Riot Blockchain as well. Moving on the topic of being bullish on Bitcoin, I just wanted to share this with you guys that I just stumbled across. So Bitfink, he's one of my favorite analysts on TradingView. I always love just the charts he makes up. And this is pretty much just a copy paste of a previous rally in Bitcoin that had a very similar setup to what we're seeing now. So he just copy pasted it. This gives you an idea of what could potentially happen in this new bull cycle in the 2020-2021 bull market of Bitcoin. Who knows exactly when it's going to hit, but I feel like it's soon. All the stars are aligning, you guys. If you played 2017, played that 2017 bull market in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, I'm sure you can attest to the fact as well that it feels a lot like 2017 right now. And there's a lot more money out there. There's a lot more retail investors in this market. There's a lot more institutional interest in this market as well, especially in the Bitcoin cryptocurrency sector. So the stars are all aligning for Bitcoin. And as a matter of Bitcoin doing well, I think Riot will do very well as well. Okay, so we will do that. As always, you guys, before we do dive into everything specifically, please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it, or if you're invested in Riot Blockchain for yourself. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and want to catch more content like this. And of course, check out my complete portfolio and daily newsletter, first link in the description. If you want a complete breakdown, my entire portfolio, all call options, put options, stock positions, cryptocurrencies, if you're into it. If you're watching this video, I assume you're into crypto. So again, have everything listed. You can know my exact call options on Riot Blockchain. Got plenty of those, got a stock position. And again, along with that, with every trade I make every day, I do send out an email newsletter during market hours, during market open, I should say, every trading day. And just give you guys my thoughts around the trades I'm making, rationalizing my thoughts, and giving you guys my thoughts on anything that's exciting me in the market, okay? So, again, I appreciate it if you check it out, first link in the description. If not, no worries. Let's get into this. As always, you guys, we do have to cover the fundamentals, and we'll finish it off with the technicals, okay? So we'll keep this fairly quick. Bitcoin mining hardware maker Bitmain closes another miner deal with Riot Blockchain. 20,000 plus miners sold by Bitmain to Riot in a year. So again, you guys, a lot of these press releases that we're going to be looking at on Riot's website are concerning Bitmain, and they're just buying so many miners, these miner machines, okay? And again, the more machines you have, obviously the more Bitcoin you can mine, the more money you make. Obviously, and if Bitcoin goes up, it's a double whammy. You're getting more Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin is going up simultaneously. That's just the floodgates opening for Riot. So we'll just read through a couple paragraphs here quick. Bitmain, a leading manufacturer of cryptocurrency mining hardware, has sold 5,100 ANT miners to Riot Blockchain. Bitmain had also finalized the sale of 8,000 additional ANT miners in September 2020 to Riot Blockchain, which is a NASDAQ-listed digital currency mining company. According to a release, Riot Blockchain will also be purchasing 2,500 ANT miner S19 Pro, which have been scheduled for receipt and deployment in December 2020. Riot has reportedly acquired 22,640 Bitmain miners within a year. That's crazy. Irene Gao, ANT miner sales director of NCSA region, Bitmain said that the crypto mining hardware firm has expanded its partnership with Riot. Gao confirmed that Riot purchased more than 20,000 ANT miners from Bitmain during the past year. Again, you guys, this is crazy. This is crazy growth. And again, we'll just look at this real quick. So Riot Blockchain, once again, you guys, I always recommend you guys go look at companies' press releases if you're thinking about holding them, not only long-term, but short-term as well. Keep up to date. And again, you guys, you want to see consistency and tangible consistency, not just news, not just kind of void news articles, but again, actual progress in expanding operations, which this is. Riot Blockchain continues hash rate expansion, provides deployment update. Riot Blockchain to hit why do I always forget what those are? Sorry. In total hash rate with a new purchase of 5,100 S19 Pro ANT miners from Bitmain. Again, that's that one that was, this is that sale that was featured in that previous article that we just read. Again, just look at all of these, you guys. Again, if you want to dig into this for yourself, I was just using this to, again, reinforce the argument that I was trying to make, in that they keep putting out great pieces of news. And again, you guys, that's such a big thing, obviously from a fundamental perspective. You want to see companies making progress and making consistent progress. Consistency is key. Okay, so that's great. We'll take a look at Riot, and then we'll actually take a look at the Bitcoin about this very optimistic, very bullish, but it does kind of line up with my price predictions as well, and we will close it out by taking a look at Bitcoin on the charts too. But let's start with Riot, and then we'll close it out with some Bitcoin price predictions, okay? So Riot, as you can see here, you guys have been following this for a long time, and I've thought for a long time that Riot has been, over the course of this entire descending triangle, okay? So I'm sure that's the first thing you guys are looking at here, okay? So let's kick it off with that. You can see here Riot was, and again, I did say it's still significantly up on the year. Riot from May, I feel like that's a more fair place to start than the March lows, because that was a liquidity crisis. That doesn't really count. I would say from May, Riot was at $1 just for easy math. Riot at $1 in May absolutely took off, you guys. And again, I've been playing Riot for a long time. I've been a fan of Riot for a long time, and it was only a matter of time before it took off to me, and it finally has, and we're seeing it play out right now. So say that beginning of May, it was at $1, and it peaked recently. It had a recent peak in early August, so a few months later, it reached a high of $4.50. So clean 4.5x. All right, and since then it has been correcting, but we saw that happen after the first rally. You see this first rally, you see a descending triangle play out, and then once it broke out of that triangle, it broke out to the upside. I was talking to the newsletter, you guys, we've been following this in the portfolio, in the newsletter for the past month now, over the course of this correction. And again, you guys, you can see this same exact pattern playing out, and history doesn't repeat itself, but it always rhymes. That's what I was telling them, and it's a cliche for good reason. It's because it does come to fruition a lot of the time. Okay, so you see this descending triangle play out. It is more extreme. Remember, you guys, the further you get into a cycle, the more volatility you see. Okay, because the price is going up, the highs are going to be higher, the lows are going to be a little lower, and that's what we saw here. Okay, so you see a larger descending triangle play out. It played out perfectly, you guys. Okay, so a descending triangle is actually classically, historically, a bearish pattern. So a lot of times if you see a descending triangle, it will break out to the downside. Okay, but in this market, specifically in this market environment, a lot of bull flags, which actually do contain a descending triangle, have played out to the upside. A lot of descending triangles I've observed in this market environment have played out to the upside. Obviously, with the fundamental reinforcement of the technicals, I did really believe that Riot was going to break out to the upside. And as you can see here, in early October 7th, we broke out, almost textbook breakout, out of this descending triangle to the upside. And it only makes sense to me that we see a similar rally to what we saw from this point. Okay, so I literally just copy pasted this exact arrow from here to here. But again, you guys, the further we get into a rally, the more fundamentals develop around Riot, the more exposure is brought onto it. You can see volume picking up here again. Volume is good towards the upside, of course, because that means more exposure, more eyes are on Riot. And again, you guys, there's so many traders in this market. There's so much new retail investors in this market. They want to take part in a very revolutionary, obviously very So we'll see, you guys. I've said this many times in the past, and sometimes I forget to articulate this. But the reason that I'm so bullish on Riot specifically is because I believe it is that, like, the textbook asymmetric investment. That means that the potential upside significantly outweighs the potential downside. Okay, so Riot, you can see here, I don't see much downside potential just because it's held so steady around even like the $2 to $3 level. Remember, you guys, for a low because that's such a small share price, $2 to $3 is actually a very significant range. It's like 30%, but it's still holding it's really holding this area of support around like the $250 to $260 region, and that makes me really believe that it's very likely that it won't go lower than that. But if we look historically, we can see that Riot, we'll zoom back in afterwards, but let's just go to the 5-year chart here. You can see that Riot back in 2017 here, sorry, that's 2019. So in 2019, when Bitcoin bounced to, I believe it was like 14 or 15K or something, definitely not as high as the 20K, Riot reached $6, okay? So I think $6 is easily attainable. Let's zoom back to 2019 when Riot saw a significant rally, when I personally first started playing Riot, which was back in, you guys see how much we have to scroll this down. Just, I mean, that's how crazy it is. Let's call it right here. So a fair estimate, it held 3 weeks in this region, okay? So it reached an absolute high. We'll just scroll down a little bit more. Reached an absolute high 1 week in December of 2017 at $46, okay? And Bitcoin was at $20,000 at that time. Obviously, there was so much mania around the cryptocurrency sector. That's why it hit that. There was a little bit of shady play too. I'm not going to get into that, but with a small stock like this, you guys do have to watch out for manipulation, just because if any whales, if any players with a large amount of capital want to get into this, it is easy for them to manipulate it. So that's another reason why I just want to say this right now, just because it's at the top of mind. You guys should be very cautious about trying to trade Riot. I swing trade Riot, but Riot, of many of the positions in my portfolio right now, is one that I really hold for the long term. I do structure my calls and whatnot in a way that I feel will be most profitable, but I mean, I hold a large stock position in Riot as well. I'm very long-term bullish on it, and I think that this is personally a great, not investment advice, you guys. I'm not guaranteeing you anything. Always know that. You guys know that. But I think this is a great long-term hold play just because of the upside potential of it. Keep in mind, you guys, okay, so Riot, $45. It's currently at $3.50. We're currently at a market cap of $175 million roughly. And that just leaves so much upside for it. You guys, this is still considered a micro cap stock. Maybe not micro cap, but definitely a penny stock. This is a very small stock. The smaller the market cap, the more potential upside it has. The more upside it has with less capital inflow. So it takes a lot less capital inflow to boost the individual share price of this stock. And you guys, with so much new retail investors out there, so much more institutional interest. We see Riot Blockchain on Fidelity's balance sheet. Fidelity, Charles Schwab do own shares in Riot. These large banks, these legacy banking players do have shares in Riot Blockchain, okay? So I didn't go full on presentation today, you guys. There's so many other things I could have brought up, but I wanted to keep this somewhat quick for you guys, keep this somewhat to the point and current. But you guys, I'm so long-term bullish on Riot. Again, you guys can see here, I think it's very easy because Riot spent so much time around here. Just during the 2017 bull rally, you can see it closed. I mean, it uses this $9 region is such a significant area of resistance. So I think it's easily possible, if we see another rally in Bitcoin, for Riot to replicate that and once again hit at least $9. My current price prediction, if it does test this uptrend, so this is going to get a little crazy. We'll go back to the daily candles here, and I'll give you guys kind of my medium-term price prediction. So if you guys actually, you know what? I'll just say right now, my Christmas price prediction for Bitcoin, I've said this a few times recently, my price prediction for Bitcoin is 20K by Christmas. And I'll show you guys why that is right after this. But I did extend this trend line. You can see this is a very conservative trend line as well. If you wanted to be non-conservative, you could actually go more like this. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if that's something that Riot follows. But we're going conservative. We're not using the absolute highs. We're using a very, once again, conservative trend line, okay? So using this conservative trend line, if we extend this out to Christmas, which is when roughly when I think Bitcoin can see a potential high and retest a very high trend line, which again, I'll explain that once we look at Bitcoin right after this. That would bring Riot to $7.25. And remember, you guys, it could easily test. I think it's almost inevitable that it will once again test this line of resistance on this ascending channel, on this uptrend. When that is, I don't know exactly when. It's all dependent on when Bitcoin decides to pop off. I think it's going to happen sooner than later, you guys. I do, again, just be ready when it does happen, even if it's just a small stake. Please consider just taking a very tiny stake, because again, you guys, that's the beauty of asymmetric risk potential. is that a little can go a really long way. Okay, I'm personally not looking for 2x, even 3x. I'm looking for a 5 to 10x, and that's why I really like Riot. Okay, so my conservative price prediction, keep in mind, you guys, this is conservative. I think we could easily, if we do see a rally in Bitcoin, if we see Bitcoin extend past $20,000, past its previous highs, I think it's so easy for Riot to at least get to the $7 region, test this. If we can break out of this, I think $9 is super easy again, you guys, because when we zoomed out there, look at the historical charts. Riot spent so much time right at the $9 level. I think that's an easy target if we see Bitcoin start to pop off. Okay, so that's Riot there. Sorry, that's a little long-winded, you guys. Let's take a quick look at Bitfink's chart, and then we'll take a look at my chart. Okay, so let's see here. You can see here, this extends all the way out. This is how I see titled, how I see the coming 15 months. Again, shout out Bitfink. He's one of my favorite analysts on TradingView. Go check him out if you guys have a TradingView account. But you guys can see here, 15 months. He expects a high in December of 2021 at $347,000. Again, you guys, in the video I just posted yesterday titled Bitcoin, $1 million Bitcoin in 5 years, is it possible? Again, you guys, I do break down the fundamentals more specifically of Bitcoin in that if you're interested. But again, I think a $500,000 Bitcoin, which would bring it to a $9 trillion market cap, which is about the same size that gold currently is. I do think Bitcoin is digital gold. Therefore, I think it makes sense for Bitcoin to consume much of gold's market cap. I think it's very possible. He has it at 345K at the end of 2021. Again, you guys, it's possible. I don't think it's good. This is a little optimistic even for me, but I think he has it. What's he have it at? So December of 2020, he has this going real quick, real fast. So he has a $30,000 Bitcoin in mid-December. I do have a $20,000 Bitcoin. We'll go to that. You guys, keep in mind, the more this cycle elongates, the more the Bitcoin cycle elongates. I know I was saying with Riot, the more that starts to pop off, the more volatility you'll see. But because Bitcoin is a multi-billion-dollar like asset, it's a $220 billion asset to be specific at this point in time. It does take a lot more capital. It does take more time. It's not going to be as volatile because it has a very large market cap. Okay, so once assets get to that scale, it does get a little less volatile. So this is a little, I think it could look something very similar to this, but just more extended, okay? So I don't think it's going to be this sharp. It could, just because there's so many macroeconomic factors that are playing in its favor. So I don't know. There's so much money being printed. There's so much money being invested, and there's so much institutional interest. So we might see this. I'm not going to completely discount the fact that this could happen, but it does make rational sense to me that it would be a little more extended than this, okay? So it might look something like this, but just take a little bit more time here. That said, let's take a look at Bitcoin. I'll give you guys my personal estimate, and then we'll close this out. Okay, so Bitcoin looking super strong right now, you guys. Bitcoin is currently at, actually, here, we'll go back here. Bitcoin, scroll up a little bit, BTC USD. Floating right around $12,000, you guys. You'll love to see it. You can see here Bitcoin bounced perfectly off this trend line that I've had drawn for a long time. Let's get rid of this. Here, let's get rid of this arrow. You can see, yep, perfectly executed, you guys. I've had this trend line drawn. You can go watch my previous videos. I've had this trend line drawn for probably like a month and a half, 2 months now, this exact trend line. And that's because it acted as a very significant line of support and resistance in the past on this rally up since the March lows. And it makes sense. It perfectly bounced right off this, what is that, 12.1? So about $12.50 region. It's coming out. If we can break above this line and get back into this channel, you guys, I think it's all upside from here. And the reason I have 20K by Christmas is, here, let me zoom out for you guys. Sorry, it's a little crazy. But again, you guys, you can see Bitcoin was following this very nice organic ascending channel since these March lows. The March lows here, it has been following this very general ascending channel. And again, you guys, this is a pretty conservative estimate. You could make this line more like if more like, there we go. Sorry, it was a little laggy there, you guys. But more like that. Like, you could make a trend line that looks like that and extend it out significantly. That would almost double that. That would bring us to like, what, like 25, 30K by Christmas probably. But I think this is a very conservative estimate. This trend line also coincides with this shorter time trend line from late July to like mid-August to mid to late August, and these two coincide exactly right on Christmas Day. So that's why I have the Christmas Day estimate. Christmas Day, what a great Christmas present that would be. Right here, Christmas 2019, we got a $19,900 Bitcoin. We'll call it 20K just to round up. But you guys, that is my Bitcoin price prediction. Keep in mind, you guys, I don't know if this is going to happen. All the fundamentals line up for me. MicroStrategy, this company, MicroStrategy, Square, these multi-billion-dollar publicly traded companies have added millions of dollars of Bitcoin to their balance sheet because they're worried about the devalued US dollar. The more the government prints in the US dollar, the more ultimately devalued it will become over time. Large companies, very smart individuals are realizing that, and they're adding Bitcoin, which is an absolutely scarce asset, to their balance sheet because it just makes more sense. It can't be printed out of thin air. It's validated through blockchain, like by companies like Riot. To bring it full circle, Riot's the one who validates this blockchain. Companies like Riot, Bitcoin miners, aren't only paid in Bitcoin. The reason they're paid in Bitcoin is because they're keeping the network secure. And when we have so many miners like Riot who are financially incentivized to keep the blockchain secure, and the price of Bitcoin is going up, that it's the never-ending loop of incentivization. Okay, so I mean, you guys, the stars are all aligning. That's the best way I can say it. So please let me know down below if you're as bullish on Riot as I am. I feel like that's pretty difficult to be. But let me know down below if it's not Riot, if it's Marathon Patent Group, if it's Hive Blockchain. There's a lot of other great companies around out there as well. Riot is my personal horse in this race. I do still like the others. I am still positioned in the others just for full transparency. But Riot is my favorite horse in the race. I think Riot is the most well-established company, and I do think it has the most upside potential ahead of it personally. But let me know down below what you think of Riot, all these Bitcoin mining companies, what crypto related stocks you like, what cryptocurrencies you like, what you're excited about, what your Bitcoin price predictions may be. If you think $20,000 by Christmas is crazy, if you think it's going to be a lot higher than that, let me know, you guys. Always love talking to you guys, love learning from you guys. So I'll catch you downstairs. And until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.